What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is going to be your review of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 4, Episode 6. So, we pick up where we left off last week, where Monica and Whitney have lit the powder keg and told Angie that Meredith was spreading a rumor about her husband, saying that he is out here having sexual relationships with other men. Now, I'm going to be clear about what I'm getting ready to say, because I know people in my comments, I already know what some of y'all are going to say. I am only going by what they have shown us. I'm not going by what I think is going on, what I believe might be happening. I am going by what they showed us. And what they showed us was Monica telling us about this rumor. I didn't see nothing about Meredith saying nothing. Now, Meredith said she knew some stuff, and Meredith said if you want to go there, well, she was drunk as hell, if you want to go there about husbands, we can go there about husbands. But on camera, we have not seen Meredith say anything. And in this moment, the only person that we heard say the rumor was Monica. Now, I'm with Heather on this. By the time it got around the room and it got back to Heather, Heather was like, girl, okay. Like, that rumor has been floating around about them since they got married. Like, why are we getting ready to sit here and act like ain't nobody heard that rumor? If Monica heard the rumor and I heard the rumor, we have all heard the rumor. So, it doesn't make it any less hurtful, because I really felt her husband when she the next day was telling her husband, and that man started crying. And I really felt him on that, whether it's true or not, because I don't know these people. I do feel like it was hurtful, because if it's true, and now it's going to be on this TV show, I felt his pain. And if it's not true, I definitely felt his pain. Because he was like, what about my daughter? Like, my daughter is going to hear about this. And what is my daughter going to think of me? So, I felt his pain. But let's get back to this argument. So, Angie immediately goes to Meredith. And she, she attacks Meredith. And, my only issue with Angie in this moment, because I get your anger. I understand and I get your anger, because if the way it was presented to you is that this is what Meredith said. So you went to Meredith and you threw in her face, hey, the only person that's around here throwing their legs in the circle is you. And Meredith was like, and we're done. Because I'll have a conversation with you, but I'm not going to sit here and be attacked. And we're done. And Meredith gets up and she walks away. Angie is like, oh no, girl, you going to talk to me. Like, you're not going to walk away from me. And so Angie goes over to Meredith like she did in Palm Springs. And she gets in Meredith's face again. And Meredith is like, listen, I'm not doing this with you. I am not engaging. You know how she going to disengage, okay? And she gets up to walk away. And Angie is like in her face and pointing her finger. And Meredith was like, you're going to back up off me. Now, I need you to back up off me now. So everybody basically ends up leaving. Now, what we find out later on, well, I'll go ahead and talk about it now. So what we found out later on is that Heather tried to have a conversation with Lisa about her son going on his mission. Now, that's going to come back later, but I just want to bring that up before I forget to say it. But ultimately, everybody ended up leaving one by one. And Lisa, because the way it was presented, now everybody feels like Meredith is the one running around spreading this rumor. Which, again, based on what we saw on camera, Meredith ain't say nothing. Meredith definitely didn't say anything to Whitney on camera. And when she had a chance to say something to Lisa, she didn't say it. So, I tend to believe that. Do I think that Meredith might be saying things when the cameras aren't running? It sounds to me like that's like an open secret in Utah, honestly. But I do not feel like Meredith spread this rumor within the group. That's my impression. But neither here nor there. She got labeled with it. She got blamed for it. And so now Lisa is like, well, we're supposed to be working on our friendship. We're supposed to be working on getting our friendship back. And now I'm not sure if I want to be, because of what happened last year. And she's the same person, spreading rumors about people's marriages and trying to break up happy homes. And I just don't know if that's somebody I want to be friends with. I don't know if that's what I really want. And And I just think that I just feel bad for Meredith in that moment because, again, based on what we've seen, Meredith didn't do anything. Now, I mean, she threatened to, but she didn't do nothing. Like I said, the next morning we see Angie telling her husband, and like I said, I told you he cried, he was upset, and I really did feel for him. I don't feel for Angie because, girl, but I do feel for her husband. I feel like he got hit with a stray bullet on this one. Because again, whether it's true or not, I it's a lot. It's a lot. So moving on. So then we see Meredith talk about the fact that she almost got into a car accident on her way home, and how that made her really realize on her way home from the party, and that made her realize that, just do the things that's important to her. And we saw her with her son. We found out that he just got out of his first relationship. He seems like he's okay with it. I guess it was an amicable split, or maybe he was the one that broke up with the other person. But he sounds like he's processing it good, or processing it well, I should say. And they're hanging out and spending time together. I feel like Meredith was trying to get him to have a whole conversation on camera that he just didn't want to have. She was like, well, are you ready to start dating again? He was like, no. I just got out of a relationship. I think I just need some time. She was like, well, do you know what you're looking for? He was like, no, I don't know what I'm looking for. She was like, well, do you know what you're not looking for? He was like, no, I don't. Like, I feel like he told you he didn't want to have this conversation. We found out she was invited to go to GLAAD. I guess be a spokesperson or be an MC for the GLAAD Awards or something like that in LA. So congratulations. Good for you. So then we see, I guess we see Lisa and, Whitney. Well, we see Monica with her daughters doing their, get ready with me situation. And she talks about what life is like being a single mom, and how tired she is, and how she runs around so much, and how, her mom, growing up, her mom was real unstable. They moved around a lot. And she said that, the only thing that she can rely on her mother is that her mother is unreliable. Okay. Let me just go ahead and knock Monica out. Then we had another scene with Monica, her mom, and her grandmother, which, they took the grandmother to her retirement community where she hangs out with her friends and stuff. And then her and her mom had this really awkward conversation in the middle of all of this, where basically Angie, her mother was saying how she was dating some guy, but then he ghosted her because she told him that she was celibate after he invited her away for the weekend. Well, girl. So she starts asking her, are you going to raise your daughters in the Mormon church? And she was like, I don't think I am. Like, that's something I haven't really decided. And she said, my mom, even though she no longer is a practicing Mormon, she still sort of follows the edicts and the traditions of the Mormon church. And she was like, that's just so confusing to me because, like, when you left the Mormon church, you apologized to me for raising you up in the Mormon church. And her mom was like, I ain't do that. I don't remember doing that. What you talking about? And Monica was like, no, you absolutely did. I remember because, I remember that day because you apologized for all of this. And she was like, I don't remember that, but I just know that you need to be doing this, and we need to have family prayer. You need to be the spiritual leader of your house. She was like, all of these things. And she was like, yeah, you raised me in the Mormon church with all of those things, and I still got knocked up at 19. So then her mother was like, somehow they got on boundaries. And she was like, oh, you don't want to go down there. You don't want to go down that road. You don't want to talk about boundaries. And she was like, why not? She said, well, how about not coming in my house without knocking? Like, how about, you knock before you come in my house? Like, that's an important boundary. Like, I could be having sex on the couch and you would walk in on it, and that would just be a bad thing. And she was just being real explicit. I could be doing a 69. I think Monica is doing a lot. Then she talked about, and how about, make sure that you hang up the phone before you cuss me out. Girl, why her mama gonna say, I thought I hung up the phone, not I apologize, not I wasn't talking about you, none of that. And basically Monica said that her mother was like, I hate you, you're the worst person in the world, with a whole bunch of curse words thrown in. And I was like, so in the Mormon church you can't have premarital sex, but you can cuss your daughter out? Okay, girl. And her mom just sat there. Like, I feel like her mother didn't have a defense to it. And Monica was like, it's not the first time. Like, this is just how she talks to me. Like, this is our relationship. So she's got mommy issues, okay? So then we see Lisa with Jack. They're spending time together before he leaves for his mission. And that's when we find out that Heather was talking to Lisa about the mission. Now, I had one reaction when Heather brought this up the last time. I had one reaction that I was like, "That's not your business. Just because it was your experience, stay out of it." That's Lisa. That's Lisa's and her son. Um, I have a little bit of a different opinion after I saw the conversation with her and Whitney. I'll get to that in a second. But Lisa was like, she told Jack about it, and Jack was like, I know what I'm getting into, because Lisa was like, Heather was trying to say, do you know what he did? Does he understand what he's doing? Does he understand what he's getting himself into? And Jack was like, I do, like I get it. I know what I'm doing. Like I've made this decision like with knowledge, and I thought it was hilarious because Lisa was like, well, I mean, obviously I'm a good mom. I mean, look at you, and he was like, yeah, but that was all me. I said, you better listen, Jack. Go ahead, Jack. But Lisa was like, look, I'm not an Orthodox, Mormon. Like I'm Mormon, but I don't go to the big temple. I don't feel like I'm worthy, and I don't, I do drink and diet Coke, and I do a lot of things that I ain't supposed to do. But I'm still doing what I do. I'm still calling myself a Mormon, and I think that's true in most religions. Like, you have people that follow things to the best of their ability, and then you have people that are like, yeah, I see you on Easter and Christmas. Like, that's in all religions. So anyway, so then we saw Meredith and Whitney go to check on Angie. This is the day after the party, and they're checking on Angie like, girl, are you okay? Like, everything, things were really bad. And so Angie was just talking about Meredith and how horrible what Meredith did to her, and she can't believe that Meredith is spreading these rumors, and how her husband reacted when she told him. He cried and how upset he was. And then you have Lisa. Once again, Lisa was like, yeah, because like it's making me really question whether I want to move forward. Me and Meredith are supposed to be trying to fix our friendship, but I don't even know if I really want to move forward in this friendship, because like she's still doing the same stuff from last year. And I just don't know if this is the type of energy I want to, put in my space. So then Angie lets them know that Heather actually invited her to her house, and Heather apologized for Palm Springs and how everything went in Palm Springs, and that she wasn't really there to support her through that. And she really wants them to try to work on their friendship. So first of all, let me say this. I don't understand why anybody's apologizing to Angie about anything that happened in Palm Springs. You know why? Because she wasn't fucking invited. So whatever happened in Palm Springs, you brought on yourself. I'm sorry. I didn't understand that, Heather. I didn't understand that apology. I didn't understand you inviting her to your house and you trying to act like there was this major thing that happened to her. What the hell happened to her in Palm Springs? I felt like she got dealt with in the way that she should have got dealt with. You know why? Because she wasn't invited. So I really don't have no sympathy for anything that happened to her in Palm Springs, because you know what? It wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened if you weren't there. You know why? Because you weren't invited. But anyway, this totally triggered Lisa. First of all, Lisa tried to throw Monica under the bus. Now, Whitney, I'm going to give you credit. You did take up for Monica because you set Monica up for that. You set Monica up. But you did defend Monica, and you told Lisa Monica was just trying to be a good friend and let Angie know what was going on. But girl, you set Monica ass up. Anyway. But Lisa got really upset and triggered by the fact that Heather extended herself to Angie, apologized, about all of that. And she was like, Heather's never done that for me. Heather's never apologized to me. I don't understand why, Heather, and she never did this for me, and she never did that for me. Girl, you know why? Because Heather don't care about extending herself and trying to be friends with you. I feel like Heather tried that in season 1. Heather tried that in season 2. And guess what? It did not work. So at this point, Heather deals with you just as you are, which is a co-worker. Okay? Heather is not interested in extending a relationship with you. And that's why she never did it. Now, well, I ain't gonna say she never did it, because I feel like she did do it on some level. Heather's issue with you is that you act like you didn't know her. Okay, you act like you never had no interactions with her, and that's why she really don't mess with you. Lisa, let's not sit here and act like you don't know why Heather doesn't really see it for you, because I feel like Heather's been clear about that. But I did feel like I was really confused about how this became about Lisa and Heather when it didn't have nothing to do with Lisa or Heather. Okay, girl, you need to call Lisa and find out why. I mean, you need to call Heather and find out why Heather didn't invite you to the cookout. Okay, that's all I got to say about it. Now, there was a very interesting conversation between Whitney and Heather. We saw them going skiing, which again is a good thing. They're still working on their friendship. They're still working on building up their friendship. So I was here for that. I was definitely here for that. But here's what I thought was very interesting. There was a conversation about the Mormon church and the mission with Jack going on his mission. And Heather was like, that doesn't bother you? And Whitney was like, I don't care. Like, that's on him. He can do what he wants to do. And Heather was like, yeah, but you know what it's about. Like, you understand what it is. And she was like, yeah, I get it. I know what it is, but that's his thing. Like, it's to each his own. And Heather was feeling some kind of way because she was like, this isn't the Whitney that we've had these conversations about the Mormon church. Like, Whitney literally wrote a letter to totally disconnect herself from the Mormon church. And we've had these conversations about missions and what a mission is and what it entails. And I'm really surprised that Whitney now has this blasé attitude, like to each his own. And when Heather started explaining it, I understood why Heather feels the way she feels. Because at first I was like, girl, just because you left the church don't mean everybody got to leave the church. And if he want to go on his mission, he can go on his mission. But on the flip side, Heather truly feels like this church is detrimental. She truly feels like she hasn't used the C word. And what I mean by C is C-U-L-T. She has not used those words. But I sort of think of Heather along the lines of people who have left Scientology, right? I've watched a lot of the documentaries and stuff about that, Leah Remini and other people. And I feel like that's kind of, I'm not saying Heather is equating it. I'm saying this. I feel like that's sort of the same thing what Heather is saying. She's like, listen, this place, they're homophobic, they're misogynistic, they're racist. There's really some serious issues and problems and just at the base of this church. And I feel like I spent 2 years of my life trying to convince people to become a part of something that I knew now I look back on and it totally destroys people's lives. Like, she feels like she forced people, but Heather, you didn't force, well, I can't say you didn't, I wasn't with you. But I don't feel like you forced anybody to become a Mormon. But at the end of the day, that is how she feels. Like, she feels like she was a part of having people join this organization that she now sees in a totally different light. Whether you agree or not with how she feels about the Mormon church, this is where she's coming from. And so she's like, for Jack to go on a mission for 2 years to basically spend every day trying to convince people to join this organization that is this horrible. And I know how guilty I feel about my experience. And me and you have talked about all of this. And for you to act like it's not a big deal, it bothers me. So then Whitney brought up the fact that Lisa got upset about her extending her apologies and stuff to Angie, but not really saying anything to her. And she was like, but again, she acts like she wants to be my friend and extend a friendship to her. But she didn't even tell me about her son going on the mission because she didn't want me in that part of her life. Like, I don't understand it. So, I don't know, y'all. I have mixed feelings about it because, again, I'm not saying I agree with what Heather is saying. I'm just saying that I understand what Heather is saying, which is two different things. Okay, because I don't want nobody to be like, oh, so you agree. I didn't say I agreed. I'm saying I understand. Anyway, y'all, that's the episode. Let me know what y'all think. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.